welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. Yeah, so I just recreated this look. You know, I was feeling pretty today. I was like, let me just do it. I saw this look on, her name is OMG on Instagram. Follow her. I would link her Instagram down below, you know, yeah, so you can see what she did. Or anyways, yeah, so if you want to see how I created this look, the products that I used, the products will be listed down below, so just check that out. And you can connect with me on Instagram, on Snapchat. I follow back and I reply, okay? Anyways, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you get a notification when I upload a new video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and have a great day. So let's get started. I'm gonna brush out my hairs just to have my hairs going in the right direction, and then I'm gonna first of all use the eyebrow gel to draw out the shape that I want, and then I'm gonna go in and fill out any bald spots. I don't know where I got the gel from, but another option you can use is the e.l.f. Lock on liner and brown cream in the shade espresso. Once I'm done filling my eyebrows in as good as you want, and then go in and clean up with my concealer, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer in the shade Hazelnut. And then I'm just using like a small concealer brush to just brush that in and kind of give me the straight line that I want. Yeah. And then I'm also going to clean the top part of the eyebrow as well. I just want a more defined eyebrow. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Once you're done cleaning it up, what I do is I do go in with my spoolie, which is just to fluff out the front part, just to make it look more natural. Yeah. Next, I'm gonna go to the face. So I'm using the MAC Cosmetics Strobing cream first as just a base for me, and then I go in with my the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in the shade Dark 4. So I don't know, I saw this on a girl on YouTube, I forgot who she was, but she used like this fluffy brush to do her foundation and it came out really good. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. So I used my Wet and Wild powder brush, and it really came out nice, and it was so easy to do. Like, it took me less of a time than I would with a normal foundation brush. So once I'm done blending that in, I did go in with more because I wanted more coverage. Once we're done blending that, then we're gonna go over to do the eyes now. Yeah, I'm using Too Faced 24-hour eyeshadow primer as my base first. Using the BH Cosmetics 120 color eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna go in with this brown orange shade there, just as my transition shade, and then I'm gonna use this Steel eyeshadow blender brush to just blend it out into my crease, and kind of like above my crease a little bit, going into my eyebrow almost. Once I'm done blending that out, I'm gonna use the NYX white jumbo pencil as my base, just to make sure, because I'm using bright colors, I want to make sure that it pops. So that's why I'm using the white pencil. It does the job well. Once I'm done blending that out, I go in with the Color Drain Queen of Hearts palettes using the shade Empress and Duchess. I first of all mixed the two of them together just because I wanted the brown to kind of have a little orange, but then I'm gonna deepen it just to make it more kind of more on the orange side than on the brown side. Again, I am blending that out with the Still eyeshadow blender. As I say, so I added a little more orange just to make it more on the orange side, but then I mixed it with the brown as well, just to, you know, make the colors blend better. Next, I'm gonna go with that yellow color and the gray color together on my eyelid. I first of all used the gray color using the e.l.f. contour brush. So I just pat that in on my eyelid at the lower part, or the outer part of my eyelid. If I do sweep it out more, and then I go in with this tiny crease brush. I usually use the crease brush because it gets more eyeshadow, and I can just put that in on my eyelid and it would pack on so much color on there. That's why I use that brush instead of the normal eyeshadow brush. Yeah, I usually use this for kind of eyeshadows that are not so pigmented. That method is really good. So once you pack it in, then you can blend it out as much as you want, or you can dust off as much as you want. So I'm going back with that same blender brush to just blend everything together. And so we're moving on to the eyeliner part. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. eyeliner in the shade dark. I think it's black actually, and then I'm using the NYX Vivid Bright eyeliner in the shade Aurora. Yeah, Aurora. After doing my liner in the normal way that I do it, I just outline it with the yellow liner, following exactly what I drew, and then I go back with the black one just to kind of straighten everything, like straighten the black lines, just to give it, you know, make it more sharp. So I go back in again with the black one, and just to straighten every part that I've gone out of line. Yeah, so I'm gonna highlight my face now. I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Hazelnut. I got this from Walmart, and I used a little because it actually goes a long way. And I also saw this from a guy on YouTube, very popular UK makeup artist, and he was like, you don't need so much concealer for, you know, because a little goes a long way. So that's why I tried it like this, and it actually works. So I just put it in the inner corners, and then I use it to spread that out, basically, because I didn't want it to go too far out. I just wanted it right at the center, right there. And I'm using the Real Technique Beauty Blender to just blend everything out. And then I go back in with the same Wet n Wild brush that I use for my foundation. I'm just going to use that to blend all my highlight in. And then I'm going to contour using the e.l.f. Small Stipple brush. This brush is actually pretty good. And it's actually cheap. It's like $3 or so. So I'm just going to put that on where I want to contour. And what I do is I draw it upward towards my highlight, just so it all blends in. And then I'm gonna use the same brush that I use for my foundation to blend that in. It just helps me blend it a little bit more. I'm also gonna contour my forehead, and then I'm gonna do my nose. And what I do is I go back in with the beauty blender after I am done blending my contour, just, you know, to make sure everything, the highlight and the contour, does blend in a little bit more. And now I'm gonna contour my nose. I use like a small pointed brush to put the contour exactly where I want it, and I'm going with this fluffy angled brush to just blend it out. And I go back in with the beauty blender as well and just blend everything else. So we're gonna set the highlight now. What I do is I tap the beauty blender into the powder. I'm using the Sasha Buttercup setting powder. What I do is I tap the beauty blender into the powder and then tap some off either on a napkin or on my hand, as you can see, and then I just set my concealer. And I also kind of do under my contour just to make my contour sharp. Then I set my contour. What I usually use like a dark eyeshadow, like a dark brown eyeshadow, just to set it. And I'm using the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palette volume 2. I use the dark brown in that palette to contour. And then I'm just gonna wipe off my setting powder off my face. And what I do is I use the face powder that I use is the Ben 9 luxury powder in the shade Dark Cocoa. I use that as my face powder, and then I dip the brush into the powder and I use it to wipe off my setting powder. And this just helps me to blend my whole face a little bit more and set my whole face. Everybody say hi to my friend. So we're gonna go next to the blush. I'm using this Sleek blush and I'm using the orange one. This comes in threes. I don't know if they still have it or not, but yeah, it's the Sleek blush, and I'm just using a random blush brush to do that. I'm gonna highlight the inner corners of my eyes. I'm using the e.l.f. crease brush. I like this brush because it kind of blends my inner eye highlight for me. I just don't want it to be in one spot, you know, so I kind of use that because it kind of blends it out. And I'm gonna highlight my cheekbones, and I'm using the Zoeva Luxe highlight brush to do that. You gotta make sure that you blend properly, you know. I kind of forgot to blend my under contour. So you can see it's really sharp. I mean, some people like it like that and some people don't, but I mean, if you do want your contour sharp, you should blend it into your ears. As you can see, I forgot to do that. But I didn't leave the house like that, so we're good. And then I'm gonna highlight this part of my forehead as well. And then I'm gonna highlight my eyebrows as well as the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose as well. So I did my lashes and my lipstick off camera, and I'm using the ColourPop cosmetic lipstick in the shade Bad Habit, and then I use the Kylie Cosmetics metal lipstick in the shade Rain on top of each other. Yeah, until we're done with the look, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up and see you on my next video. Oh my god, it was not recording. What the heck? Anyways, I'm really feeling this look, you know. I really just bought, yeah.